They can happen during any kind of work, but accidents in or around excavations are especially dangerous. A cubic yard of dirt can weigh over a ton. Just a few inches of dirt covering a cave-in victim can stop their breathing, and a victim who can't breathe can suffer brain damage in less than 3 minutes. At 5 minutes, death is nearly certain. It's obvious that the odds are against a successful rescue of a buried victim, so prevention of accidents around excavation sites, especially cave-ins, is imperative. The most common safety technique at excavations is shoring. At City Light, shoring is an established practice. We expect all crews to follow WSHA and OSHA regulations on securing excavations, without exception. The importance of well-constructed shoring cannot be emphasized enough. Whenever you are shoring, always shore assuming the worst possible soil conditions. Take time to assess all of the conditions at an excavation site before you begin, and be ready to shore for the least stable condition you can imagine. Then, as you build the shoring, remember that your life and the lives of your crew members depend on the quality of your work. But following regulations and building shoring are only the basics of excavation safety. Common sense and ingenuity have prevented or minimized many accidents in the past. This tape will try to share some of the tips and techniques that City Light Transmission and Distribution Division and the Safety and Health Unit have compiled from both experience and research. We can't cover every situation or every regulation, but we hope you'll leave this presentation thinking of new ways to keep yourself and your co-workers safe. Steel plates or heavy plywood held in place with support timbers are commonly used for shoring, and they work quite well. But there have been times in the past where well-constructed shoring failed for reasons beyond anyone's control. Experience has shown that a few simple techniques can reduce the chance of serious injury even when shoring fails. A particularly easy technique uses the backhoe as a safety device. When the backhoe is not in use, placing the bucket in a trench or narrow excavation near the work area provides an extra measure of safety. If shoring breaks loose, the bucket can provide a small airspace for workers. It's important to keep in mind that cave-ins are only one type of accident in excavations. In reality, smaller types of accidents occur much more often than cave-ins, yet they are potentially just as lethal. Soil or pavement breaking away from the edge of an excavation is a good example of this type of accident. The use of straps to secure the top of shoring to pavement or other hard surfaces is a simple technique to prevent this type of excavation accident. This is an especially good practice for street excavations, where layers of old pavement, concrete, and other materials can easily break off and fall into the hole. But tools and techniques provide only partial protection on any job. Nothing can replace careful attention to safety by everyone on the crew. Although it is established standard procedure at City Light, the importance of having a worker on top cannot be stressed enough. This worker must be alert to soil conditions changing due to weather, leaking water pipes, cracking pavement or shoring, or any other changing condition. In an emergency, this worker is the lifeline for anyone in the excavation. Never shortchange this responsibility. It requires constant concentration and alertness. Finally, keep escape routes clear and accessible. There should be multiple routes available for all workers in the hole, and all workers should be kept informed of any changes in the location of ladders or other escape routes. These basic prevention techniques, combined with your common sense, will prevent almost all accidents. But things sometimes happen beyond our control, and all of us need to be prepared to act quickly in the event of an accident. Cave-ins are the worst possible type of accident which can occur in an excavation. Often, there is little or nothing that can be done to save trapped victims, especially if they're covered completely with loose dirt. Therefore, rescue priorities always remain highest on victims whose condition is known. In the event of any emergency, getting help is the top priority. Follow your standard emergency radio procedures, and if possible, have someone stay with the radio at all times to coordinate the assisting crews. Any crew in the area should respond for assistance. However, extreme caution should be used when approaching a cave-in site. Trucks and heavy equipment should be stopped well away from the site to prevent vibrations which might cause further earth movement. If it's possible, all traffic should be stopped within a one-block area. To begin the rescue effort, the site must be stabilized to prevent further earth movement which could endanger both victims and rescuers. Screw jacks, timbers, steel plates, all may prove useful in quickly supporting the cave-in site. If equipment such as a backhoe is available, it can be used as temporary shoring, especially in the case of overhanging pavement. Extreme caution should be used, however, in moving equipment near the site. This could cause further cave-ins with disastrous results. Using power equipment to dig near victims is very risky and usually should be avoided. You should never attempt to lift a victim by tying them to power equipment. There are several documented cases of victims being killed by backhoes trying to rescue them. Once the site is stable, rescue visible victims first. Partially buried victims are in more danger than you or they might realize. Pressure from loose dirt can restrict blood flow, causing death or serious injury. And in any excavation accident, the situation may change very quickly, such as a gas or water main breaking. So always make the easiest rescue first. Another benefit to rescuing the partially buried victim first is that if the victim is uninjured, you may have added an additional rescuer to your team. As you work, scoop and push material away from the victim. Never stab into the site. As soon as possible, administer oxygen. If oxygen has not arrived, administer CPR to assist the victim's breathing and begin other necessary first aid measures. During the entire rescue, workers on top must continuously watch for any new dangers which might develop. Complete the rescue with standard techniques for lifting and moving accident victims. This tape has covered a few things that hopefully will make your work a little safer. But it should be noted that in cave-in situations, there are simply too many variables to prescribe any procedure or technique that will always apply. You must count on your planning, ingenuity, common sense, and quick response to make a successful rescue. Finally, we have to conclude with an old adage that applies to every type of rescue. Don't become a second victim. Use your good judgment and wait for help if you're at all in doubt as to your ability to make a rescue safely.